What's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. What's going on? Um, in this video right here, I'm gonna basically talk about writing a basic resume using your trucking experience. So I know a lot of y'all see me, right? You know, I was able to get out of the truck and use my 10, 15 years in trucking and get employment using the same skills that I use in trucking. And so in this video, I'm basically gonna show y'all kind of, sort of, I didn't want to put my resume on here, but this is like a quick and dirty experience resume that I put together for a friend. And, he was asking me for some help. So I just did a quick and dirty resume. I just threw something together so he can get an understanding on what my resume looked like. And so basically, this is kind of like, not in detail, but generally speaking, what my resume looked like. So if you're thinking about, like, man, how can I use running my trucking business as experience? Well, I'm going to show you, because all the things that you do running a truck, basically it's a business. You're running a business when you're running a truck. That's just the bottom line. If you dumb it all down, at the end of the day, running a truck ain't no different than running a barbershop. It's no different than running a grocery store. It's no different than running a mechanic shop, a roofing business, any nail salon, working in the federal government, procurement. It's no different than working as a revenue officer or administrative type executive position. So if you really think about it, you running a truck, you setting appointments, you dealing with competing deadlines. You can multitask. We run trucks. We run small fleets as independent operators, and we know how to multitask. We got a lot of things going on at one time. We creative. We come up with solutions on the spot. I mean, you put that stuff in your resume, and I guarantee you write up about 3 pages of that, and you just put your experience on the page. Just put it on this page, and you got to back it up with some examples, and you got to write it professionally. And so, for example, like, this is like a basic, kind of a basic, little message that I sent one of my friends. And I was like, hey man, you looking to get out the truck, man? I'm going to give you basically a template, what I use. It's a dumbed down template, So, let me see who, let me see. Okay. I'm trying to look at my chat, because if any of y'all got any questions, you can just, but anyway, so for example, in my little email that I sent one of my friends, like I basically told him, I was like, look, I suggest you using your trucking management, your business management experience running your truck. You can get any professional job out here. If you run a trucking business, you can get a professional job out here. We deal with brokers. We're setting appointments. Hold on. Okay. Somebody sent me a message. But anyway, so we're setting appointments, and see what it says right here. Don't put anything about driving a truck. You don't say anything about driving a truck. You don't say anything, because even though as independents, you know, we may have ran small fleets, 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks, and we had to drive the truck from time to time. You have to write your experience to the job. Don't start, don't make your resume about unnecessary things. And so whatever job that you're applying to, if you're applying to a store manager position, if you looking for a procurement job, you need to write your experience that reflects that you understand the duties of that job. If you're talking about procurement, well, you need to talk about seeking out customers, soliciting your sales, negotiating, dealing with the public, taking phone calls, reading contracts, reviewing, analyzing contracts, reviewing, analyzing numbers and financial statements and expenses and revenues and things of that nature, cost analysis and stuff like that. You need to put those things in your resume. And so I said here, I basically told them, focus on your business management. If you have 15 years experience, you need to tell them who you are, you know, and explain how you do it. So for example, if you running a trucking business, explain how you built a trucking business, how you develop. You have an entrepreneur mindset. You're very independent, and you develop a business down from the ground up to a successful business generating X amount of dollars, and explain how you did it. I did this. I did this. I did this. I set up compliance. I created an LLC. You went and you applied for documentation, state qualification. You got your DOT number, and you have to state those things to let that hiring manager know that you understand how to build a business and how to make money. And so you understand compliance. And so it says here, you know, what it says is focus on compliance, collections. Talk about using your factoring company. I mean, like, you know, most jobs, when you're talking about a factoring company and you're talking about collections and settling debts, those are negotiating skills that you have to have those negotiating skills when you're talking about compromising and negotiating, setting up agreements, payment agreements. Those are all business skills. Okay. You have to set an appointment. You have to call somebody on the other end and put something on your calendar. You show up professionally and you discuss some type of business activity. And so you put that in your resume. Tracking expenses, keeping accurate books and records, sending out invoices. I mean, that's all factoring. You know, when you talk about factoring bills, bill of ladings, you settling a debt, you collecting, you're calling, and those are all professional skills. So, you know, I basically went on to say, I basically talk about, you know, when you're talking about using professional software, Microsoft Office suites, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint. These are all professional tools that you use in the office environment. So if you're trying to get out the truck and you're trying to get in some other type of employment, like all you guys who watch my videos, I know y'all use Microsoft Office before. And so you use a Microsoft Office suite to run a successful business, to track expenses, to send letters. You use Microsoft Office. You got to give examples. Okay. You use Microsoft Office to write letters and to you have your business name on the letterhead, and you send out letters for payment and stuff like that. And you use Microsoft Outlook. You use Microsoft Outlook to manage appointments, okay, with customers. These are all professional tools that you use out here to do business. You use Microsoft Word to create letters and correspondence with customers on a business letterhead. I use Microsoft Excel to manage my business finances, books, and records to analyze trends. Come on, come on. That's what we do. We run successful businesses, profitable businesses. We take care of our customers. We serve our customers, you know? You know, talking about collections right here, I make sure my customers pay freight services timely. That's a big key here. Timely, not just paying the bill late and whenever. You use these tools and you make sure your customers pay their bills timely. I send my customers freight bills, detention invoices. Come on now. Set delinquent charges when not paid on time. I set a strict pay schedule to ensure customer payment compliance. I always use my payment collection system, factoring company, okay, to track my business payments from customers. I require a 14-day, 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day payment schedule. Okay, so when we talking about factoring bills, when we got freight bills, okay, when we're running loads out here, we go into warehouses, you don't get paid on the spot, okay? So depending on how you got your rate confirmation and how your billing is set up, you either gonna have a 30-day, you either gonna have a 14-day payment, 30-day, or 60-day. And these are professional payment schedules. So, you know, every 30 days, a lot of these warehouses, they pay on a net 30 or a net 60 or a net 90 pay schedule. And so you have to hold them accountable. So if they don't pay, what do? You send them an invoice. You send them invoices. Okay. That's what we do as independent drivers. That's what we do. Okay. I always call and email my customers if payment is not paid on time. I always send delinquent invoices to collections if unpaid after 90 days. I always send certified letters to customers for delinquent freight bills. And so that certified letter is a big one. So when we're talking about sending a certified letter, that's basically you're certifying and you're letting your customer know that you're documenting this this transaction, that you sent them a invoice. And so after that, it's time to go to court. If they don't pay, what you do, you send them to collections and you sue them for the bills. And that's a professional collection procedure when we're talking about collecting a bill. So for example, if you owe Comcast a bill and you don't pay, what happens? They send your balance to collections and they send you a certified letter or whatever the case may be, and they put it on your credit report. It's the same thing. And so you have to state that and that you running a business like a professional. I always follow fair business practice laws when enforcing payment. So this is talking about state compliance. So when we talk about state compliance, you have to state that, okay, and you running your business compliant. You're making sure you're running a compliant business. So you're in compliant with all local, state, and federal laws. You're compliant with the DOT. You're compliant with the state, with all your IFTA filings, with your LLC filings. You're in compliant. You're running a legitimate compliant business that's in compliant with all the state laws. I make sure my business annual LLC registration is renewed on time. I always pay my state annual equipment registration fees timely. So you want to go through your business and keep stating all those professional activities that you conduct in that business. Okay. DOT compliance. I make sure my business follows all DOT compliance checks monthly. Okay. So as you know, the DOT monitors trucking operations. And so we have to be in compliant monthly. That's your drug consortium. You have to make sure all your drivers are are in the drug consortium, and you have to drug test all your drivers, all your employees. Let that hiring manager know that you understand business, that you understand how to run a business. Okay, I make sure my business follow all DOT compliance checks monthly. I manage driver log records, maintenance records, drug screening records. Federal 2290 Schedule 1 is always paid timely. Come on, y'all. Okay. The IRS tax compliance. Now, this is a big one. I always make IRS tax compliance the most important part of running my trucking business. I keep reliable books and records, accurate books and records of revenues of each customer I serve. I keep receipts, invoices of all overhead expenses, including tires and tires, oil, and truck repairs. And so you go in, you state those, right? You state those, and then you go and show experience and examples of when you did it. So, for example, I use Excel to monitor my tires expenses. I use Microsoft Excel to analyze increases and decreases in expenses. I use Microsoft Excel to monitor the increase or decrease in revenues, to make good business decisions, whether I should hire more drivers, maybe I should fire drivers, maybe I should be. It's all based on the numbers. You're basically giving experience to show that you're understanding that when you're analyzing and reviewing financials, and you're running the business. Okay. And so I could have swore that more than this, but I could have swore I had more than this, but I guess not. I guess not. But but yeah, so this video, I just want to do this video to give y'all just like a good rundown on just a way, if you're trying to get out the truck and you kind of lost, you haven't, I know, like for me, when I wrote my resume, I haven't written a resume in 15 years. I haven't applied to, because I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years. I haven't applied to a job in 15 years. So I've always been an entrepreneur. I go out and I've been making my own money for the last 15 years, 16 years. And so to get to this point to where I'm actually applying to a job, it was kind of, I didn't have a resume, so I had to create a resume from scratch. And so I had this, and so it took me about 6 months to build a resume to where, because you can't just sit down in 5 minutes and just type up a whole resume. It's because you're not going to get everything in one pass. And so it takes several passes. You have to type the stuff, put it on paper, just release all your experience, just dump it on a piece of paper. And then you give it to somebody, like a mentor or something like that. Let them review it, and then they give you some feedback, and they're like, yeah, this doesn't apply. You need to do this and move some stuff and all this. Restate this doesn't make any sense. You go back and you fix it, and you rewrite it again, and you move some sentences around, and before you know it, you got a powerful resume that you can just send out here. I know some of y'all might want to get out the truck, and maybe you want to apply to a brokerage company. C.H. Robertson is hiring. TQL is hiring. A lot of you guys have that experience, running a truck. You don't have to go out here and become a freight broker from scratch. Like me personally, I recommend applying to C.H. Robertson or TQL, or I'm trying to think of some other freight brokerage companies. And you can be a W-2 guy for a while and then see how they do it. Let them train you, because they're going to train you, and do that for about a couple years, and then step out here and start your own freight brokerage. And, you know, because you don't want to start from scratch. You want to have a good base. You get a base salary. You're not pressed. And you work an 8 to 5, and you work Monday through Friday, and you have to worry about going out here starting from scratch, trying to pick up customers from scratch. And that's a lot of work. And so, I mean, personally, that's how I would do it. I would do that for about 6 months or a year, and then I'll see how they do it. And then I could go out here on the weekend, or you know, on the weekend, and pick up direct shippers, pick up shippers, warehouses and stuff like that. And, you know, build my own little business on the side, because a big company like TQL, C.H. Robertson or something like that, they're going to teach you how to run a brokerage company. You know, they're all kind of things. Like the federal government is hiring. You know, they're looking for all kind of jobs in compliance. The DOT is hiring. The IRS is hiring. The VA is hiring. It's a lot of opportunity out here, but you just got to be able to put your experience down, and you just got to know how to communicate your experience and put it down on paper. And, you know, once you get done with that, and then you can start on the interview. You're gonna have to practice interviewing. I know, like for me, before I started trying to get back in the W-2 world, I haven't interviewed in years. It's been a long time since I sat in an interview. So I had to get back in learning how to interview, you know, and I had to practice interviewing, you know, and, you know, it was a lot of work. It paid off. And here I am, you know, I got a job in the federal government. So it's just one of those things. It's like, you just got to put the work in. You just got to put the work in. And so that's just what it is. If you don't put the work in, you're not going to change your life. You're going to be in the same spot. If you're never going to put the effort in trying to put yourself in a different position, like, what are we talking about? You know, what are we talking about? You know? And so that's kind of my whole opinion on that, my whole perspective on that is, you just gotta put the work in. It's not, because I know a lot of you guys that follow me, you know, maybe you feel like you just not capable, you're incapable, you're not able, you're stupid, you don't have no college degree. You don't need no college degree. I would say 75% of these jobs out here don't require a college degree, but I tell you, majority of them, 100% of them, require some doggone experience. And if you got 10 years of work experience, you can dress your resume up to fit just about any job out here. You just got to communicate it. You're capable. You've done it. You've done this before. You ran a multi 6-figure business. Okay. I ran my trucking business. You know, I grossed over 200,000. You know, I've flipped rental properties. I rehab properties, you know, and all that requires some kind of business acumen. I have to deal with attorneys. I have to deal with real estate agents. I have to communicate professionally in an email. I have to sign contracts. I have to read contracts. I have to review contracts. I have to review invoices from contractors. All that experience, you know, that's experience. You know, like when I bought my first property, I had to understand what I'm doing. And so that's a valuable experience. And so don't let your work experience go drop by the wayside because you drive a truck and you think you just not a professional. Oh yeah. If you're an operator out here, even if you're a company driver, you can dress up your experience to fit a professional job, because the things that you're doing on a daily basis, running a truck, those are professional skills. Any employer would love to have you, would love to employ you and pay you $100,000, $75,000 a year, because you have the demonstrated experience. You have shown and demonstrated that you have the ability to run a successful multi-six-figure business, keep up with expenses, keep up and pay your taxes on time, call customers, set up appointments, multitask. You're able to think on your feet. You're able to be creative and come up with solutions on the spot. You need to put that stuff in your resume. Okay. And so, you know, and so it's kind of one of those things is you just got to put it out there. You got to state it. You have to go through your mind and just think about, okay, Monday morning when I get up and I'm looking for loads and I'm calling shippers, I'm calling receivers, I'm calling brokers and stuff like that. Think about what you're doing, and you got to contextualize. You have to put that in context and put it down on paper and say, on Monday morning, I solicit customers for business. Simple. On Monday morning, just think about on Monday morning, if you're independent and you don't have no freight on your truck and you have to find some freight, you have to solicit customers for business. What is soliciting customers for business? Soliciting customers is cold calling brokers. You're cold calling warehouses. And so once you got a broker and it's some freight that you want to move, what do? You get a rate confirmation. What is that rate confirmation? That is a contract. And so when you get that rate confirmation, what do? You review it. You review the contract and make sure that all the terms and conditions of that contract meets your standards. Then what you do? You sign it. You sign that contract and you email it. See, that's business. If you put that in your resume, you need to state that activity in your resume. On Tuesday, what happened? On Tuesday, okay, just put it this way. Annually, just think how many loads you run a year. How many loads you run a year? Oh yeah, if you're a trucking business, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks, you got 2 or 3 drivers. You can simply state in your resume, you can say, annually, I serve 1,500 customers, and I successfully serve 1,500 customers annually, producing 250,000 in revenues. Okay, you know that 250,000 in revenues. The previous year, I only grossed 200,000, where I increased my output for my business 50,000 in revenues. I mean, it's like we do this. We run successful multi-six-figure businesses. We do this. And so there's no reason that, you don't need to go back to college. You don't need to fill your head up with a bunch of degrees. You don't need to waste your time with all that. And so that's kind of what I wanted to get out to y'all today in this video. But I wholeheartedly hope if y'all go back and watch the last video when I talked about looking at federal jobs, and you take this video, get your resume together, and go back to that video and get an understanding on how to read and how to go through USA jobs, and you look for direct hiring. Look for direct hiring jobs. Don't look at nothing else, because the direct hiring jobs, those are the jobs where you have the better chance. You don't have to worry about being you don't have to worry about having competition. There's pretty much, you don't have to worry about the competition, because the direct hiring authority allows the federal government to hire right on the spot, and you have a better chance of getting hired. And so but I really hope that y'all I'm trying to figure out how to turn the comments on. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how to turn the comments on. I don't know how many people in this video. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I think I stated my point. I think I made my point. And please take what I said in this video And please take what I said in this video. And if you at a point in your life you're looking to transition out of trucking, and you want to, get into another line of work, another profession or something like that, and harness your many years of experience running a business, and you can apply it to something else, you know and don't downplay yourself. You can do this. You can do this. But I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. I see y'all